All right, hello everybody. Welcome to Peculiar Happenings. I'm Shelby.
And I'm Lee.
And the setup's a little different today, Lee.
It is. I'm looking at you through a window, basically.
Hello from the other side. This is one of the times where it did take us...
from the other side.
This is one of those times where it did take us about 10 minutes to actually get the episode set up and going, but it is because we are doing something different. This is the first time ever we have attempted to run an episode through Gram Command and Prod A on our own, which means nothing to most of you out there. But the reason we are trying to run an episode in a different spot than usual today is because we have a lovely little guest. Why don't you introduce yourself, guest? Hello. Through the glass.
I'm Gianna. I live in Shelby's townhouse.
Yay.
I am in your house.
Yes, you're in my walls.
I am
Good
in your
heavens.
walls. Do you hear me at midnight?
Heavens. Sometimes.
It's like a cat in the walls.
Skittering around,
Exactly.
skittering about.
Mm-hmm.
All right. Well, I'm going to be honest, this is weird. I'm in a little room all by myself. There's all sorts of switches
Why are
and
you in a
dials.
cage?
I'm in... Hi, Lee. Hi, Shelby. I'm waving. Oh, my God. Hi, Gianna. What are you guys doing here? I am in the board op cage.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, because I'm adjusting the music, which, by the way, this might be the first episode we have background music at a reasonable volume for most of the episode, or at least until my laptop dies.
We're so cool. It took us
Although-
2 years, but we did it.
Oh my God, we're so awesome.
We
I
finally
think
did
I
it.
could
Megan would be so proud.
Megan would be so proud.
Matt Volts would be so
Matt Volts
proud.
would be so proud of us.
Yes.
I mean, there is an outlet right here, so if it seems my laptop is going to die, but we still want music, I'll just have you guys talk for a second, and then
Awesome.
I'll plug it in.
We can do
plug
that.
it
We're
in.
yappers.
We
can
are.
yap.
I'm just going to lean over for a second to pull up my Google Doc.
Google Doc. Yes, indeed. I think we should have kept going with our bit, and Gianna should have been Joe Curie.
Joe Curie. Oh, you know what, Lee? It's really funny you mentioned that because I forgot. This isn't usually how we do things. It's going to be about halfway through the episode. We are going to have Joe Curie here today.
Joe Curie. Oh my
I know.
gosh, I'm gonna faint.
I know,
Actually,
and
I'm Joe Curie.
oh my
Gianna's
God,
been Joe
Gianna.
Curie this whole time.
Yeah.
Oh, man.
Oh my God. So we have to be married now.
Oh,
I
yeah.
hope you know that.
I already listened. As soon as you said that, I dialed the priest. They're going to be here
So
by the
actually,
end of
this
the app.
episode is our wedding.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Like,
Oh my God.
actually, that's what's happening in Gram Command. I think
Yeah, we're prepping the wedding over
this
here.
is an amazing honor. I'm happy to be here today for my
Oh, yeah.
wedding.
Oh yeah.
No, yeah. Do you know the reoccurring bit that Shelby and I tend to do on the episode that we've gone off like 20 minutes doing?
I think so.
Oh, yeah,
It's the bit where we're like, we
Yeah.
know them. We know the cast.
Actually, well, it's not a bit, Lee. It's quite real.
Oh,
but
sorry,
we tell everyone it's a bit so
That's
people
right.
don't get star shocked. It's basically just that we are good close friends with both the Duffer Brothers and the entirety of the Stranger Things cast.
Yeah, and initially it was Joe and Maya who were going to be the hosts of this show.
But we had to fill it.
It was their spin-off, basically.
They were just too busy.
They were very busy
And
with season 5.
As their good close personal friends, they reached out to us.
They did.
They reached out
What
to
a
us.
great friendship you guys have.
I know.
It's so great. You know, some of his songs are definitely about me because he's in love with me.
Lee, he said not to tell anyone.
Oh, I forgot. Sorry. I have to.
Just
Okay.
broadcast it over the airwaves for everyone to hear.
No, it's okay. Your mom can know.
Oh, that's so true. You're right.
Sorry, she'll keep our secret.
She will. That's so true.
Mm-hmm.
She'd be at the wedding front row.
She would be
Cheering.
and she'd walk me down the aisle.
Oh, for sure, for sure.
We got to get your mom here so she can walk us down the aisle for Gianna and I's wedding.
Oh, exactly. But yeah, so this is a fun little guest episode. We're going to definitely have some more of these out here for you in the future because we are beginning to scrape the proverbial bottom of the barrel as far as Stranger Things content goes because it has been, 3 years now? No new content except for trailers, theories. So we're bringing some more people into the fold. So actually, we briefly introduced you. Your name's Gianna, you remember. Is there any other fun facts you want to include about yourself?
I'm currently a graduate student doing English education.
Amazing.
For the
That's
youth.
impressive. I
for
love
the
that.
youth. It's for the children.
It's for the children.
Feed the children,
Love
guys.
that.
Isn't that what those people do, the pageant girls?
Exactly.
They're like,
think.
yeah, we have to cure world hunger and save the children.
Oh, yeah.
You would have won.
Thank you.
You're welcome. You're the winners of our hearts. Here at Peculiar Happenings,
Slay.
New York City based.
Oh, yeah, that's... yeah, definitely not from SUNY Fredonia's radio station. Which honestly, I do like this station.
I love this station. It's very comforting.
I'm having a lot of fun in Graham Command right now, guys.
I could
you look
like professional out there,
guys. I could like just turn your mics off. No more mic privilege.
No more mic privilege.
No more mic privilege. Oh my gosh, taking a picture.
Yeah, for your mom.
Oh, thank you. All right, so introduction to side. You already know who Lee and I are. Unless this is the first episode you're listening to, which in that case, go back. Go listen to our spring 2025 radiothon one first, and then come back when you're ready.
Yeah.
But we're going to be doing a little interview today. An interview of you, Gianna. But don't worry, it's just about Stranger Things.
Yeah.
Indeed.
This isn't for a job.
Thank God.
We're not going to pay you. We don't even get paid, and we run the thing. It's all volunteer. Oh, just like student teaching.
Doing the work. Put in the work. Put in the power. We stay hungry. We devour.
Exactly.
Like a sleeper agent. But so I typed up a teensy little list of questions. It's actually really tiny. It's about one bullet point and just 5 consecutive things, one after another.
That's real.
So let's start. Let's start with one of the easy ones. Okay, Lee, what do you think? Do we start with favorite season or favorite character? That's where I'm at right now.
That's a hard one.
That is a hard one.
What would be easier for you to answer, Gianna?
Actually,
or do you already know?
I can start with favorite season.
Favorite season?
Favorite season?
I was leaning there, but...
Okay.
Let's go. What is your favorite season of Stranger Things?
My favorite season is season 3. And I feel like part of it is a nostalgic factor because the summer of 2019 was just like a really good summer for me, but also just the vibes of that season, and also like Robin. We got the iconic duo of Steve and Robin.
Yes, we finally got our lesbian representation that we all wanted.
Exactly.
We didn't know we needed. Actually, we did know we needed.
We did, because I tell you, the whole season I was watching, I was dreading what I thought was going to be the inevitable romantic conclusion of Steve and Robin's dynamic, and I was like, oh my God, I'm so sick of this. I'm so sick. Stop. Let Steve not date someone for a little while. Please. She is so cool. Do not make them be romantic. And then I was like, oh God, please not. Oh my gosh.
Netflix.
Because that's not what happened.
Gasp.
Netflix? Did you see it coming? Like, what were your thoughts like when she came out to Steve in that scene?
I think I might have gotten spoiled about it, but like at that point I was like, I couldn't really be mad. I was like,
you were just so excited.
Yay! I love this duo, and I just like love how they played it out. Like, it wasn't this like, oh, uncomfortable. It was like, okay, cool.
It was, and we've talked about this before because it's one of our favorite. We also concur that is also one of our favorite seasons. Although a lot of people do not appreciate the levels of camp it achieved with the evil Russians hiding under the mall.
It was iconic.
Willful suspension of disbelief, fellas.
Real.
But that is also one of our favorite scenes because it felt very genuine, and I know me personally, it was really nice to see Steve Harrington react to someone coming out to him in 1985, 1986.
Yeah.
And to just treat it
like it was summer 1985.
It was summer 1985. Yeah, you're right. It was 85. But I say that like we were there. Oh yeah, that was summer 85.
Remember when
when we were there and it happened? But it was such a genuine reaction. They didn't make it a whole big thing where Steve was like, "Oh wait, what? How does that work?" He just paused for a second, and I think the train of thought that went through his head was like, "Oh well, if I like women, I don't see why women can't too."
Exactly.
That's real. Women are awesome. And then he immediately started making fun of her taste in women. Yeah, that's what bros do. That's what pals do.
That's what a best friend does.
Exactly.
Okay, if a guy cannot make fun of his best friend's taste in women, I don't know what friendship is.
Yes,
it was so iconic. I cannot explain to you how excited I was for my mom to see that scene. I think it was after my parents split up and after my mom realized she was a lesbian, and she had no idea that Robin was queer, and I didn't want her to know, and I wanted her to wait until that reaction of the scene. And I'm pretty sure after it happened, I turned to her and I was like, what do you think? And I think she was just not surprised and she wasn't as excited, but not in a bad way. She was just like, that was a really good scene. And I was like,
oh, that's nice.
Reaction.
Oh, that's nice. Because I feel like people our age, we watched it and it blew our minds.
Yeah.
We were like,
For sure. I think my mom had a feeling, and I think it was just like, oh, that was really sweet. I liked that. But it wasn't like any big, strong reaction. But I mean, that's my mom's reaction with most of Stranger Things, is she's not really like, she likes it and she enjoys it.
Real.
But it's not like big, like, oh my gosh, like feelings. Like, I think we like it in an unnormal way. Yeah. I think we.
Oh yeah.
We're over here.
Definitely.
We're like on the verge of like
we're so normal. We're normal about it.
I cannot explain to you the anxiety that has been growing in me the last month and a half about this new season coming out. Yeah. Every time I see something and it's like a leak or something or a supposed like scene, which I don't trust any of the stuff, to be honest, because who knows with AI anymore.
This is true.
Political.
No, you're right though. And how much of it could be fake, how much of it could be taken completely out of context, but like leaked, or it could also be an intentional marketing tactic. I definitely would not put it past them as a marketing tactic to have quote leaks out, but it's actual stuff they're just putting out there that isn't huge spoilers to get people hyped up for the show. I can see that.
I could see that too. I definitely think like I'm nervous for Steve and I'm nervous for Destin. And Robin. And as everyone who listens knows, those are my top three, which actually kind of brings us to who your favorite characters are. But definitely I've been nervous for the new season. Like I'm so excited, but there's a bit of dread. When I think in my mom's way of it, she would just be like, oh, this is a new season. It's very nice, very nice. And then I'm over here like holding onto the edge of the couch and I'm like gnawing at the edges. I just shook the table.
Oh yeah, I saw that.
Sorry guys.
We're over here like corkboard and newspapers and
literally
like,
connecting.
It's all coming together. It's all there's one frame in season 3.
In season 3, there was this moment and this person said this word and that means.
And then in season 4 it came back.
With this new season, like all I ask is like don't do it like, and it was all a campaign, like all a dream thing. Okay. That's such lazy writing.
I know that's one of the theories. Generally, could not tell you how it came about. I think it's lame. Like, okay, I think there's a time and a place for story endings like that. But I do not think Stranger Things is one of them. We've gotten so invested. And they put so much effort into it, too, which is why we're so invested. We're so invested in these characters. We're so invested in this world to then effectively undo all that and say, it was all a D&D campaign. It's like, I put a lot of effort into my D&D campaigns. I would not be happy, though, if... Yeah, I wouldn't be happy if they did that.
Like, I don't think
it undoes so much. It removes so much of the impact.
It's the thought, definitely.
It is.
It's like that equivalent of it was all a dream.
Yeah.
And I did a story like that. I'm not gonna lie, my freshman year, but it was supposed to be a cliche off of that. Yeah. Off of that.
I think was this the one you told me about? Because I kind of liked the way that you said you were gonna go about it.
Because it was all a dream, but it also wasn't.
I liked the way you were going about it
with that, but I definitely think that it feels like very like a mundane middle school way of like ending something. Yeah. And I agree. I feel like that would be very disappointing.
Like time and a place.
Yeah. I have seen a lot of the cast talk on season 5, and some of them are going to say people aren't going to be happy, but not in the sense of like they won't be satisfied. It's like it's going to be emotional, and some people will probably be upset with some of the answers or like some of like the deaths especially. Yeah. Because they have said there's a lot of death, and you know, we don't have many side characters, and to introduce side characters in now, I mean they do every season, but to introduce a bunch and only kill them off, I feel like. I will say, as a writer, it's not going to be impactful if they just kill off a bunch of side characters. Yeah, and they definitely wouldn't say what they've been saying if they were like just the side characters. So it's going to be some people.
Yeah, and again, it is the final season. I am fully anticipating they're going to be going in fully. The kiddie wheels are off. The brake line is cut. Yeah. They are careening down a hill. Yeah.
It's so interesting with these characters. I mean, like, we've been on this journey for so long. I don't even know what age they're supposed to be anymore because, like...
I have no idea.
It's sophomores in high school?
Yeah.
So I think last season they were supposed to be freshmen because that was when Lucas was having his whole thing where it's like, I want to be like cool 14. And do sport.
Which is crazy. Yeah. They don't look 14. However, Shelby has said that... the amazing Sean McGranahan has said that it is the most 80s thing to have adults playing young adults or teenagers. And so it is funny that they are now like in their 20s and 20s. I mean, Joe Keery, who plays like a young adult in this now, is like 33.
Yeah, and again,
and I'm like, what the heck?
most 80s thing. The most 80s thing.
He looks good for his age, don't you, hubby?
And hey, you know, that's perfect timing. Joe Keery just walked in the door.
Oh my God,
see you,
my darling. Miley. Hello,
yeah,
Miley.
But
Hello.
after this like whole journey we've been through, we're going on 5 seasons now. It's like it's nice to wrap it up, and also it's like almost comforting, like seeing them. Like obviously, this whole show is like trauma bonding, and seeing them go from young kids to going into like high school. You can see yourself in that, and you can really relate to that. Like, am I dealing with the Demogorgon every night? No. But
might as well be with these budget cuts.
So real.
It's my sleep paralysis demon.
Oh yeah, but I know what you mean, because it's especially crazy to me just because of how it has lined up completely coincidentally. I've been watching the show since it came out in middle school when I was like 12, 13. Mm-hmm. The first set of episodes of the last season of the show that will ever be made that's coming out about a decade later is going to be on my 21st birthday.
Crazy.
Mm-hmm. It's weird. It's, you know, they did it for me specifically because they know me so well. So we're good friends. But
I think my favorite thing about the way they're releasing this is the fact that the memes that have come out of it being on like the holidays and then on New Year's Eve or New Year's Day when the final episode comes out, and like the last few episodes before the final. I love the memes of people being like, this is what I'm going to be like during the holidays when everyone's opening gifts and excited. It's like them sobbing with tissues and like all this like comfort food. And I'm like, yeah, that's going to be me. Like, I'm going to be sitting there with ice cream sobbing my eyes out, and my parents are going to be in the back room like, are you going to come celebrate with your family? I'm like, no. I'm watching Stranger Things.
Priorities.
This is my highest priority right now.
I really like the one meme you sent me where it was someone in a Demogorgon costume lying on their bed with like kicking their feet in the air. And the caption was just me on Thanksgiving when I'm supposed to be spending time with my friends and family or something.
Yep. That is going to be us.
Oh, yeah. But, this is the Tangents podcast. This always happens. But favorite characters, Gianna, to get back to the point.
I'm sure this is going to come across a surprise to no one, but it is Steve.
Indeed. You got the Steve troop over there.
Oh yeah, we do.
Like specifically, I really liked the group this last season of Steve, Robin, Nancy, and Eddie.
Mm-hmm. Yes,
the Fruity Four.
The Fruity Four.
So true.
Yep. Colloquially dubbed by the fandom.
Yeah, like watching Steve first season, I was like, no. But like watching him really like step up and change as a person, I was like, okay, I love in like any media the like older side character, especially if they're a little fruity. Those are like my characters.
Oh, for sure. I feel like watching his character arc was one of the biggest reasons like I wanted to get into writing, or that I fell in love with storytelling, because I feel like it is very like, I mean, from the beginning, he was supposed to die. He was supposed to be the character that was disposable and a jerk face. And then he came back and was just like this amazing character that was beloved by the fans. And like the fans dubbed him like the babysitter. So that just, I saw an interview because they've been doing like snippets of like, oh, do you remember this from this season? And he was watching like a scene and he was like, fun fact, like I leaned into the babysitter bit after I saw people loved it so much.
I love that.
And that like was just developed into the character. And then in season 4, there's a scene when he's getting in the car with Dustin. He's like, oh, he's the babysitter. Yeah. And it's a great line. And the fact that might not have been reality, or the show would be so different if he wasn't in it at all. So like he's peak character in my opinion.
I love how he like keeps showing up for these kids, even though he's like kind of over it, but he's like never gonna not be there for them.
No, like I said, trauma bonded.
Yes, I love that he chooses to come
the
back.
trauma bonding show.
Yeah,
he chooses like every time he does, and it is great. Like it means something that in season 4, when Sadie Sink, like when her character Max was, you know, probably gonna die, and they were like trying to stop it, but she like was like, if I don't make it out of here, here's a bunch of letters, and she gave them to him. Everyone, the fact that she gave one to Steve,
is
so heartwarming, because they don't even have a whole lot of like screen time together. But the fact that knowing, like, in all the times, like, if we didn't, like, when the show isn't taking place and, like, in that world reality, the characters have a connection enough that she would do that. And I just love that.
Yeah.
And I love that he was so protective of her in that season 4. When beforehand, I mean, they didn't get a crazy amount of screen time together.
And I was going to say, because especially after season 2, which was when we first see Max, but within, what was it, a couple months of her being there, he was already completely ready to throw down with her brother. And he did.
Yeah, he did. And failed.
And he almost won, but Billy played dirty.
Yeah, and then wasn't it Max who, like, actually, like, saved by, like, sedating Billy or something? Like, she's the one that technically stopped the fight.
And then when she's driving the car,
that is so iconic.
That is one of the best scenes.
That's why season 3 is so iconic.
No, that was season 2.
Was it?
Yeah, it was season 2 because it's, remember the kids, they want to go to the tunnels to try to help everyone.
Oh, I'm thinking of when they're driving to the hilltop and Steve is driving.
No, yes, because they have, remember they have the Todd father.
Story. Yeah, they have Todd father.
They have the Todd father at one point.
That's
I think
what it is.
At one point they switch to someone else's car, but I remember the scene where Steve gets in the Todd father and he's like ecstatic, covered in blood, black eye, still in his sweaty uniform that he's probably been in for like 2 days.
This is my formal apology statement for messing up my Stranger Things knowledge.
Fake fan.
My ukulele is in the other room. I will go grab it.
Apology with tears now. No, I just I love Steve as a character, but like he's not, I don't know if you'd call him a comic relief character, but he definitely has like some funny moments and lines that I really appreciate.
For sure. He has some great one-liners and some great like cutaway scenes where like it's right before it pans to something else and he'll say something and then it's like I'm always the babysitter and then it like cuts to something else and it's like fantastic and I'm just like, yeah, of course.
Yeah, and with the kids, like at a glance you can be like, oh, he must like not like them, they're like kind of annoying, like always asking him for rides, but then like you take a look at Max writing a letter and all the times he's shown up for them and they actually like do really appreciate him.
Yeah, I feel like Steve, especially to Max, was like the older sibling that Billy never was.
Oh, yeah.
And like that's just heartbreaking. I mean, even for Dustin, he's an only child. Will has an older brother who does care a lot about him. Then we have Mike. Sorry, not a fan of Mike Wheeler. After season 2, Mike Wheeler fell off. Anyways, that's my opinion. That's my opinion piece of the day.
In this new season, I kind of want Steve to crash out.
I think I do
more than he already has. Because, like, I feel like we don't... He's, like, not the main character, which is fine. But he's the main character in my heart. And I want him... He's been through a lot. Like, he got drugged by Russians. And we have not gone back to that.
Who else was that? I think the only other character that had an equivalent to that is Hopper. No one else knows. And Robin, obviously, because she was there.
I have been liking Hopper more and more each season.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah. I think, like a lot of other things, season 3, things got a little cartoony. He got a little, like, overbearing, angry dad who's mad that his daughter has a boyfriend. But to be fair...
he didn't like Mike like everyone else in the entire world.
To some extent, I think he was right. Didn't go about it in a good way for sure, but there is something to be said for like, hey, you're spending too much time. You need to have friends and not just your romantic partner.
This boy isn't your world.
Yeah.
And then it became her world.
Yeah. Shoot, what were we saying? What was I saying? I don't know.
About Steve crashing out.
Oh, yes. I was going to say, on the topic of that, I think the one main criticism I've seen people have of Steve and some of the characters in the show in general, I'm like, I think that's very valid. I think some of these guys are a little more mentally stable than maybe they oughta for all they've gone through. Like, Steve should have uber PTSD
I think
by this point.
Similarly to that, my biggest criticism of season 4 is when at the end, when they're like the whole town is like in like crisis mode and Robin, and I forget her name, whatever her love interest name was, not a real fan.
Right now.
My instinct is Nancy, but I know that's not real. That's
Vicky?
just a canon. Vicky.
Yes.
Vicky.
Yeah. So she's talking with Vicky, and Steve's over there being just like a supportive like bestie, and he's over there like sorting clothes. And I love that. I love that he's being supportive. However, I also feel like that man looked too like chill with the fact that he was just in the upside down, was almost strangled by Vecna's vines, was like literally Eddie died. My biggest qualm.
Yep.
other than that fact, is I really hope we get a flashback of Eddie's death, because I really wish we could have seen Steve's reaction of finding Dustin over Eddie's like body. I really think that would have been powerful. I would have loved to see Dustin like run to Steve's arms or something. Like just that 2-second extra scene would have made it like, oh, that would have sent me like right over the edge. I would have been crying even harder.
And I mean, episodes are going to be like 2 hours long. I think we're going to get a lot of flashbacks.
I hope we do get a lot of flashbacks on some of those few like kind of unresolved aspects. That was just something that I'm like, guys, come on, like why didn't we like further do this?
Oh, sorry, I was just making a hand motion, so I remembered something, but finish your point first.
I'll get back to you. But yeah, I feel like they should have developed that more, and I hope that we see a little bit, like you said, of a crash out to a large capacity. I do think we are going to get a Steve and Dustin like hug in like a moment, because in the trailer it looks like there's a scene where Dustin is being held in some masculine person's arms, and I think it is Steve. And so who knows?
Yeah, with that scene where Eddie dies, like I understand why they focused on Dustin, but like all we got were glances from the other three. I'm like, they were along with the ride for that. So like you said, even just like a little hug would have been enough.
Something a little different than how they did it. I feel like just would have put it over the edge a little bit, but I hope we get to see a little bit more of a Steve like crash out, even if that's just like a breakdown of being like, oh my gosh, what's going on?
Yeah, and I think that's a really good point, because he is kind of the one that has to have it together all the time. So it'd be really interesting if he didn't for once.
Yeah.
Because that's a lot of pressure, especially when it comes to a bunch of reckless teenagers with no sense of self-preservation.
Yes.
Yeah. Was that your thought?
No, my thought was, I remembered on the topic of flashbacks in season 5 from earlier seasons.
Yes.
I think Finn Wolfhard said one of the favorite scenes he ever did was him riding the bike home after thinking Will was dead in season 1. And they ended up cutting it from season 1. But people are saying maybe it is going to come back in season 5.
I hope they bring back some cut stuff, or like stuff that would like further explain things that we didn't necessarily get to see the first time, or how characters were affected.
Come on, they got the time to.
Yeah, I mean they have the time. Hopefully,
you got the time, guys.
And this is just an additional comment on the topic of Steve, because I love him so much. And I think I've told you this, Shelby. I really wish we got a bisexual Steve, and I know it would be perfect in the beautiful year of 2025, mostly beautiful to an extent, that we did get a bi Steve. But I feel like in 1987, I think is when this season's taking place. It is, because it's back to fall of 87.
Yeah,
I don't think we get a bi Steve.
Sorry, I was just remembering, because wasn't the thing that Eddie was saying, he was like, 86 my year, baby, and then it wasn't. Anyway,
it wasn't. No, you're right. It was supposed to be his year, and it would have been his year if Steve and Eddie kissed, but they didn't. And
the dark
I've been in
timeline.
Arguments with my sister about this, because she is a Eddie and Chrissy supporter, which is fine.
I think okay. We've had this conversation before.
We have had this conversation.
I think they have a really fun friend dynamic. I don't see them as anything else.
Yeah.
Partially because of the age gap. I just see them as friends. I think there's nothing more fun than like preppy, popular cheerleader who's like best friends with this random stoner metalhead. You know?
Yeah. I actually
like that's so fun to me.
I have a bit of a question for Gianna on this topic. I would love to hear your opinion on the Steve and Eddie headcanons, only because I know it is very controversial to an extent within the community, because some people either love it, other people hate it. And Shelby and I have talked about it. We don't think necessarily Eddie's going to come back, but if he were, like, what are your feelings on that? What are your feelings on like their connection in season 4? Like, anything you have on that topic?
Yeah, I'm not sure if Eddie's coming back, to be honest. But when it comes to steady, as you will,
steady.
Love it.
Steady as it goes.
I was looking at
an icon right here.
I haven't watched Stranger Things in a while. I think I want to rewatch it before the next season comes out.
Yeah,
but
at least season 4 I want to rewatch. I think.
Yeah.
So
I was like rewatching TikToks I've saved, and it was majority of just steady. And I have a headcanon that Steve is bisexual. I don't think we will ever see that, but you know what? It's up for the fans to decide then.
Yeah.
And understandable if you don't like that, but after looking at Steve and Eddie interact in season 4, I was like, there's something going on there.
For sure. And I've had this conversation with my sister, with other people, and I've had people look at me and say that it's just, queer people wanting to make characters queer for no reason. Mm-hmm. And I don't necessarily like that, especially specifically when it comes to Eddie and Steve, because I feel like when you watch it, there was a certain level of chemistry that I don't know if it was like the two actors leaning into, like Joe and...
If it was like written or if it was improvised, but I know what you're saying. It was definitely there.
Even if there was just like a platonic chemistry that just really read that way, I think they did. Like there was just too much of it to like ignore, and part of it coming through for me was the jealousy Steve had against Eddie with Dustin, because up until that point, Steve had been the male figure in Dustin's life for the last few years, and then Eddie comes along and he's like, oh my gosh, who is this person? And I honestly, even though we only met Eddie in season 4, Eddie had obviously been in high school when Steve was there at a point. So Steve knew of him, but probably thought he was the freak that everyone called him. But his perspective changed on things, and they go through all this experience together. And then the line and the bus, or I mean the
trailer they're stealing. Harrington's got her. Don't you, big boy.
That's crazy.
Even Robin was side eye, whoa.
I know what you are. All the memes of that scene. And then when Steve sees Robin looking at Vicky in the outdoor supply shop, I love when people put those together, and each time it's I know what you are. And it's Steve looking at Robin, and the other one's Robin looking at Steve. How can you ignore that? And then when Steve is shirtless after he went in the water and they're in the upside down, the fact that Eddie throws his jean jacket at Steve just to cover up.
For your modesty.
Yeah, there's no way that they just didn't have anything. And I do agree. I think it's up for the fans, and if you don't like it, then you don't like it. But don't hate on people. I'm not looking at people and just saying, hey, you're wrong for liking Chrissy and Eddie. I'll be I don't agree with that, but I don't think you're wrong, because we don't know. We don't know what would have happened if Chrissy stayed around.
Yeah. As an English major, I love looking at things that through different lenses. And if you look at Stranger Things through a queer lens, it's there. If you want to look at it, it's there. If you don't want to look at it, it's okay. But as someone who likes looking at ththings through a queer lens, I see bisexual Steve.
Exactly.
Yeah, I see a bisexual Steve. I even could see a bisexual Nancy. And that's just me.
No, that's real though. Sorry, I didn't want to interrupt.
No, that's really so it. That's why I like the Fruity 4 idea. I think it's fun. Some people wouldn't agree. I think Nancy's a girl boss, and I think she would be great with a woman, great with a man, great with anyone,
Do you think she'll have a gun in season 5?
She better, because we did an episode where we talked on the outfits of the characters, and every photo I saved of Nancy was only one of her holding a gun, because that was the thing that brought together her outfit every time. I'm that's just Nancy.
What was that one meme I sent you on Instagram? It was Nancy the 9-wheeler.
Yes, it was. But it's iconic.
I was gonna say, before we get too off topic, I want to circle back to what you said about the argument. Hold on, I'm also trying to keep an eye because I think our music's about to end, and I want to switch to Stranger Things ambiance.
Ooh.
It is weird science right now.
I love weird science.
Okay, we have a couple more minutes, so I can get this out before switching it. I always hate when people say, you just want to make things gay for the sake of being gay, because it's okay, yes, sometimes that is true, but also, would you ever say that about a straight romance?
Yeah.
Would you ever say, that's straight people making it straight for the sake of being straight? To me, whenever people say, you guys just make everything gay. You make it, you want to make everything gay. It's you would never say to a straight person they make everything straight. And to me, it's just reflective of, even if not intentionally, a bit of internalized homophobia.
Yeah.
Or something of the because, again, it's just... No one would ever say that in regards to a straight couple.
Yeah.
It's specifically because it's queer is the issue.
Yeah. A character can be queer, and it doesn't have to be the focus of the story.
Yeah.
Robin, her being queer is not a main plot point at all of what Stranger Things is, but it adds to her as a person, and that doesn't mean that's all she is. She's so much more than that, and I think that's what people can't get behind, is that they're well, it ruins the story for me if that person's queer. It just it doesn't make sense. And
Skill issue.
Well, you being straight, someone could say doesn't make sense either. Yeah. You're just saying it because the person's queer. So I think that is it is very infuriating, and I don't think with Steve and Eddie, I don't think that's a situation in which someone is making a character, queer or putting a headcanon on them. In that sense, I think it just, they seem a little fruity in the way they talk to each other. What is, there's a funny meme, and it's from the Minecraft movie, but I can imagine Steve saying it to Eddie, and it's a meme that someone made of Jason Momoa talking to Jack Black's character, and it's like, I loved you in the way any man could love another man.
Which is an insane thing to say.
And I think that's what Steve would just say to Eddie. He's like, no, I just love you in the way any other man loves another man.
Oh, yeah.
And then Eddie would be like, huh?
Do you know what you just said?
Do you know what you just said? You fruity little man.
But
like, Happy Pride.
Happy Pride. But to what you're saying too, people be like, I don't know, the character being gay ruins it for me. I have seen countless movies where the only basis for a romantic relationship between two characters is that one's a man and one's a woman, so they gotta be romantical, and it's like,
no, they can be friends.
It's infuriating because sometimes you can clearly tell there is actually generally no chemistry. There's no basis for relationship other than just well, they're the opposite gender.
And to me, that's kind of how Eleven and Mike's relationship feels. It feels like one of those things when it's like, it's the first boy she ever saw and the first person who ever cared about her. I'm like, well, Dustin and Lucas cared about you. In the end, Will cares about you once he comes back. Like, you could have fallen for any of them. But just because he was the first one and he was a boy and they had that's just my opinion. Other people really love them together. I do feel like they're playing with something, though. I think the Duffer Brothers have something up their sleeve with the way that Mike and Eleven's relationship seemed to be going in the last season. We don't know. We'll see. I don't necessarily think it'll be like, oh, Mike is queer and ends up with Will. I don't think it's going to be that. I think it'll be that they realize that they are their own people and that they loved each other, but it's not a forever, like, romantic love. Yeah. I had a thought, though. Oh, yes. But off of that fact of what you were saying, Shelby, is I think that's why Steve and Robin's friendship is so strong, is the fact that it really does show that a man and a woman can be friends and not have that romance.
Yes.
That's why, back to talking about that scene has come out to Steve. It makes it so beautiful. It's like, they had to have this because Dustin was saying, well, she's really cool, and like, if you're looking for someone, she's obviously right there. And he kind of like made himself develop a feeling when really I don't think he ever had a romantic feeling for her. Or maybe he did for a split second, but it really just has developed into they are just best friends and they can be friends without that pressure of a romance. And I really like that.
Real.
Yeah.
I'm gonna be honest, I have not been locked in because I'm trying to figure out what music to play in the background because I finally have the ability to play music and I'm really happy about it.
You focus on music. We can move to another question too.
You're good. I'm playing the Stranger Things theme, and I know what playlist I want to play. I'm going to switch to another playlist after this, but let me get another question first.
Indeed.
So we did favorite season, favorite character. I mean, we talked a lot about Steve. What are your other favorite characters? We could continue this vein for a little more before we move on.
Yeah, like Robin, Eddie are just, I feel like they're so cool characters, and then they're also like the weird ones besides from
in
like
the best
party. Way. And then I feel like Hopper has like kind of like, he's not my favorite, but I've grown to love him over the past few seasons.
Yeah, I have a character similar to that has grown on me a lot from the beginning, and that's Murray. I really like
yes,
Murray.
You are so right.
I feel like season 2 when he had that iconic, like, Nancy and Jonathan came to his door, like, that was just, everyone fell in love with him. But I think the fact that his involvement grew so much from there, and that, like, he has become a figure of, like, in season 1, he was actually in the very first episode, and I had no idea.
Oh, really?
Oh my gosh,
I rewatched with my mom as I was introducing her to Stranger Things.
Like the Russian girl.
And he comes in and he's leaving Hopper's office ranting about this Russian girl who is infiltrated, like, Hawkins, and that she has, like, a buzzed haircut and all this stuff. And he's basically describing Eleven, and then they're like, sorry, Murray, like, we don't have time for this. And they, like, shoo him out. And we don't hear of Murray, like, again. And
but that's good writing right there.
It is. And then in season 2, Nancy and Jonathan know of this like crazy conspiracy theorist who might be able to help them, and they go to his house and he's in this bunker, and then it's like perfect, and it's him.
Yeah.
And I never put it together. I thought that was the first time Murray was introduced, but no, it was in season 1, episode 1, when not Mrs. Wheeler, I almost said Mrs. Wheeler, when Joyce Byers is on her way to say that her son is missing.
Yeah.
And I just think that is beautiful. That's why Stranger Things is a top tier show.
Mm-hmm.
They just connect so much that like I strive to write like that as a writer. And it's a different like way of writing, but it then like writing a book or something or a novel. However, they do it so well. So I agree. I've had characters grow on me like Hopper. But would you say, out of side characters, like out of any like characters that have like died on screen or characters that have been reoccurring but like very side, not like Steve and Robin like characters, which of those has been your favorite, or like a favorite villain maybe?
Would Eddie count?
Eddie would count, I would say. Yeah,
I think I'd say Eddie.
Okay, that's valid.
Yeah.
I like that one.
Talking about like Stranger Things like as a whole, I feel like it was like a very influential show, probably one of Netflix's most influential shows.
Mm-hmm.
And because we had, like, just going with like pop culture, we have like different sci-fi like eras. Like we have Star Wars and like Alien and Star Trek, and I feel like this is like our generation's like big sci-fi show.
Yeah, this is like,
you're right, actually. I can't think of we have a lot of like supernatural horror stuff, like the Vampire Diaries, or I know you like Teen Wolf. That's a
Teen
show.
Wolf, yeah.
Like I watched a lot of Supernatural. I watched a lot of Doctor Who, but Doctor Who also goes back further. I think this is like firmly our generation's biggest sci-fi thing.
Like it has something for everyone. Like if you want the D&D stuff, it has that. But if you want more teen romance, it has that as well. I feel like it just appeals to a lot of different age groups and just like people personality-wise.
Yeah, and I think it manages to do it without feeling like it's trying to pander.
Yes.
It does it in a pretty genuine way, and I think it draws off of a lot of the movies and the genres it's taking inspiration from. So I think it comes across pretty well. It comes across pretty well, I think.
I agree. I think the thing that's so cool about Stranger Things is it's not just like a US based show. This is like, it's international at this point. Like it is like Star Wars and all those series that like just kind of stuck through time. And I think this being such a long like series, and I do think it has been, as a fan, just slightly annoying to have to wait so long.
Yeah.
But there is a feeling of like reward almost, and also the fact that I think that contributed to how popular it got. Like I think having season 1 and 2 pretty much like a year apart, I think they were pretty close to one another, or closer.
I can search that up if we want. Hold on.
And then season 3 wasn't too long necessarily, but 3 to 4 and now 4 to 5, that's been a long time. And I think they did it smart that way, because you gave us kind of back to back and piqued interest.
Yes.
And then waited a while. And then we got a really good like blowout of a season 3. And then it was, people were so excited. And then it was like, oh, sorry, this is really big season. We gotta take a while. Like it's gonna be a while. And then fans were like, well, we're really hooked and we want to know the story ends. So at this point, we're gonna wait. And I've heard so many people say like, oh, the wait's so long, like they're gonna lose fans. But then each time they say that, the same person is like, I'm excited to see how the series ends. And no matter what, like people are just excited now.
Yeah.
And like they're like, okay, I'm gonna watch it. So I don't think they really lost anyone in the wait time. And I think it's what made it such a big thing. So
another thing with like recent media, I get so annoyed with the use of main characters and their like cell phones. So taking this place in the 80s, I mean, also I have like parents who were born in like the late 60s, so like they really like the 80s, and like maybe it's romanticized a little bit, but just like that nostalgia factor for that time, and also like the less use of technology I really love, because I hate new media when they're just like, it's always some bullying on social media.
When it's like, oh my god, I have to
annoying.
Twitter and TikTok about this.
Yeah.
It's like people don't talk like that.
When they're filming something or like showing like on screen the phone, the text messages, and like that's why as a writer, myself and in classes, I've had professors say, if you're doing a mystery story, the best thing to do right off the bat is get rid of phones.
Yes.
Yeah.
Find a way to get rid of signal, lose a cell phone, have a phone die, something. Ooh. It adds like such a better factor.
You just so talking about this. My parents also really like Stranger Things because they were teenagers in the 80s, and I'll ask my mom and dad. I'll be like, oh, how's it for accuracy? And they're like, oh yeah, it'll be pretty good. But my dad will be like, yeah, that style school bus was a little too early for this time period. Or, oh, that style Walkman didn't come out until like a year after this. But one of the things we talked about is the technological like disadvantages and advantages of setting it in the 80s from a mystery writing standpoint, because they have the walkie-talkies, which is a really good device for them to be able to communicate over long distances. They don't have cell phones. And saying about figuring a way to get rid of cell phones just reminded me one of my favorite podcasts, The Adventure Zone. The second season was a Monster of the Week campaign, and that's how I got into Monster of the Week. The way the DM did it, which I thought this was super awesome and a really, really good way of doing a modern mystery but still putting limitations on what your characters can and can't do with the technology. It was set in a town located in the West Virginia radio quiet zone. Because it's near a massive telescope of an observatory. So there's a nationally enforced radio quiet zone where you don't get signal. There's no internet. You can't use your cell phones. They still use like payphones and everything, and they have pagers and walkie-talkies.
That's awesome.
But I don't even know if walkie-talkies were available. But you saying that just reminded me, and I thought it was really interesting. I really love it. The Adventures on Amnesty. I also looked up the release date of the seasons. Yeah. So season 1 was July 15th, 2016. Season 2 was October 27th, 2017. So it was just about a year later and some change. Season 3 was July 4th, 2019. And I think starting at season 2, they kind of start to line up the release dates to the seasons, which is fun because you have the second one coming out around Halloween. You have the third one coming out on July 4th. And then the fourth one was 2022. But I want to see when it actually was specifically now to see if they like timed for the release of Spring Break or something. Because I think, it came out in like May 2022.
Yeah. The first
so that's
part
pretty
did,
neat.
yeah.
So,
and then the rest was like the summer.
Yeah. So, hold on. Some criticize it for being overstuffed due to the lengthier episode runtimes. Oh, brother, y'all are gonna hate the 5th season.
Brother,
put
can
the
I
TikTok,
tell you something?
Put the TikTok attention span away. Sit down and listen.
Come on, guys. Like, don't you like a movie? Like,
yeah, exactly.
This is like 7 movies.
Yeah.
This is great.
You don't have to watch it all at once.
Exactly.
Yeah. Shocker.
You can take breaks. Actually, you can watch an episode a day if you want.
Real.
But I won't lie to you guys. If things don't go according to plan in this season, I'm gonna need 5 to 10 business days, and also I will probably be radio silence on the internet. I won't be on TikTok. I won't be on Instagram, Snapchat, whatever it may be. You will only reach me through text message because, to be honest, I am not spoiling a single
real
freaking thing, man.
we can even go back to Telegram. I'll send you a carrier pigeon. My dearing, most darling Lee, how do you find yourself?
My darling podcast wife, how are you? I miss thou.
It's been so long since I've seen thine face. But so okay, I'm looking at my list here again.
Got me worried talking about his life. Yeah. I'm like, don't you do that?
Don't do that. It is never a good sign when they start talking about, I want this for the future.
That's what Bob did.
Yeah.
And what happened to Bob?
That's also what happens in like every anime.
Want a piece of pie, Bob? Sorry, that's from another show.
Wait, what did you say?
I said, want a piece of pie, Bob?
What's that from?
It's from That 70s Show.
Oh, that's beautiful.
Iconic.
The only clip from that show I've seen is where it's the mom coming downstairs and she's like, somebody give me a light. And they're like, we don't smoke. And she's like, I am a nurse. I know that 1 in 5 teenagers smoke. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Now I'm going to close my eyes. And when I open them, this cigarette better be lit. And she holds it in her mouth, and there's just 5 hands go up with a lighter.
It's great. It's a great scene.
It's a good scene.
No, That 70s Show, and honestly, I liked That 90s Show. It was definitely a bit of like very spin-off energy, but it was pretty good. I'm very sad they did cancel it, and it ended on a cliffhanger.
Ooh,
so we will not see how they end that, but it's okay. No, I agree. I have one final thought on Steve, and we can move on afterwards.
You're good. I have like 2 more main questions, because I think one of the other ones I had was favorite character arc, but we've already talked about Steve, and I feel like that's the answer.
Yeah.
It's Steve Harrington.
Yeah.
This is basically the Steve Harrington fan show at this point.
It really is. That's what this whole series is.
Oh, yeah.
The whole Peculiar Happenings.
Anyway, as you're saying.
What made me so nervous, too, about him talking to Nancy about all that and being like, oh, what I want in my future and I only want you, and the fact that they've said so many people are going to die, is my worst fear is that in season 1, Barb died because Steve, in a sense, Steve and Nancy were both a little selfish.
Yeah.
And I am so afraid that they're going to come full circle with it, and that either Nancy's going to have a choice to make, whether it's saving someone else, like a boy, like Jonathan or Steve, versus a friend, which I have a feeling might be Robin. Or the thing that I think will happen most, that I'm most nervous about, is that Steve will inevitably sacrifice himself.
Yeah.
Because he doesn't see a life without Nancy. He doesn't have a well-paid job. He isn't in the family business. He doesn't have a degree. He wasn't good in high school. He kind of peaked in high school. That's how he feels. And the only people that seem to care about him are Dustin and Robin and some of the kids, you know? And my worst fear is there's going to be a scene where he goes to save Nancy and tells, like, I can just see it now. I can see him looking at Dustin and Nancy, or like looking at Nancy and being like, get them out of here, go, like you need to go. And then like being this scene where it's like the Hopper scene, basically, where like lights are flashing, like blazes are going on, like there's fire everywhere or something, and then he just like walks off and like basically goes into his death, like basically also like how Eddie sacrificed himself. Like I have such a terrible feeling that that's gonna happen, and it's mostly gonna be because he doesn't feel like he has worth without Nancy, and I am so upset about that because I love him so much.
You are very important to me.
I know, it's like, come on guys, you have worth, honey. It's okay. No, Steve, don't do it. Turn around. Don't go to the light. It's okay. It's, oh my God. I'm so upset about it. And it hasn't even happened yet.
Yeah.
I'm so upset already. I repost everything that's like, if Steve dies, like, I don't know what's going to happen. Like, it's like all kinds of stuff like that. Or people being like, I'm going to be so mad if this man dies. And it's just like edits of him. Oh my God.
Oh, I can already see the edits to,
oh my God,
what song do you think it would be? What song? What do we think?
They bring back Heroes.
I feel like it would be kind of like, I think it would be a female singer,
and
it would be kind of like
Separate Ways by Journey again.
Oh, by Journey. I don't know what song it would be like in the show, but I feel like the edits would use like a Lizzie McAlpine song or something, or like Doomsday, like Doomsday is close at hand, and it's gonna be like him like walking off, and then it's gonna be like Dustin sobbing, and I'm gonna be like, no, Steve, come back. I'm gonna stop watching. It's gonna be like when the Derek dies or whatever, whoever his name was in Grey's Anatomy. I never watched it, but
hey,
it's gonna be like that, where people just stop watching after Steve dies, and the whole fandom turns the TVs off.
It's a good thing it's the last season.
Yeah, good thing, because they would lose a lot of fans if that man dies.
Okay. So I have two more main questions, because we're getting close to the wrap-up time. We started a little later, so we're gonna go a little later, but we're getting close to the end of time for today's episode. I have two questions left. I'm gonna start with one that's gonna be a little shorter. Who or what is the favorite outfit that you've seen thus far? And you can say, if there's a character that you think routinely has it on, you can say who your style icon is, or you can just say like the most iconic outfit that you think of first that comes to mind.
Let me take a look.
Oh, absolutely.
I need specifics.
I can give examples. So obviously there's the Elle season 3 looks with the suspenders and the bright colorful shirts and the scrunchies. I think when we did our fashion episode, we also talked about Elle's season 2 look, where it was sort of like grungy and punk. And honestly, I don't know if it was her. It was a good look. It went kind of hard. We talked about Mike Wheeler, fashion disaster in season 4, and just in general, honestly. Will Byers with all his little flannels.
Mike
Wheeler. I think consistently,
Dustin with his fun prints.
Consistently,
Argyle.
It's Robin.
Yeah.
Which, like, Founding Kitchen.
Yeah.
But I feel like I like Nancy.
Yeah. Nancy, a very put together look. She has a lot of pinks and purples, I think we noticed.
Yeah,
especially
I love the layers
going more into
of
season
her belts. 4. Like, she does a lot of belts with long skirts. I like that. Chunky sweaters with a long, a long skirt, and then like the belt, the shoes, the hair. She's got it.
Yes. It's quite good.
So I'd say Robin, but close runner-up Nancy.
Fantastic.
I like that.
Fantastic. Because honestly, I liked Robin's black jean jacket so much from season 4. I'm like, I want to try to remake it, maybe.
You should.
It could be fun.
110% you should.
Oh, yeah. And then our final question today, I figured this would be a fun, more out of the ordinary one that we could ask.
Oh my God.
But because we also have a whole episode about it, if you could bring back one character from the dead, who would it be, and how do you think would change the story?
Well, I would love to bring Eddie back.
Oh, yeah.
I have heard things about him like being a vampire and stuff, and I feel like
yes,
that
as Cass the Bloody Handed.
Yes.
Again, we've talked about this. We think that is something. Would it necessarily happen? I don't know. Would it make for fantastic fan art and fan fiction, both of which I've already seen? Yes.
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 Like, I don't think it's gonna happen, but if he were to come back, I think that would be a really cool way, and I hope he interacts with Steve and whatever level that is.
Yep. I hope he says a single word to him. I'll be happy. I would be so happy.
That's
I do think either way, there's gonna be a big impact that Billy had and has in season 5, even if he doesn't come. Not Billy. Wow. Eddie. I was gonna connect it to how Billy in season 4. That's why I said Billy. But Billy in season 4, like Max has like this big connection, and that's why she got so kind of like depressed and was struggling, and why Vecna like reached to her and like tried to like, you know, infiltrate her mind and all this stuff was because of her connection with Billy, and like going back to the Dear Billy episode, all of that, the impact it had. I think that whether Eddie physically is alive and well in season 5, he's definitely gonna have an impact either way. So that gives me a little bit of hope, because we do see again Dustin goes to his grave just like Max did with Billy. We see it, and then they wrote like freak and like covered it, and he's like crying, and I'm like, oh, my baby.
The parallels.
Which you don't think too hard about the fact that there's nothing buried under that grave.
Yeah,
we don't know if they got his body out of the upside down or not.
Who knows?
They probably didn't.
Too much, I'll cry.
Yeah, I can't
That's
do
real.
it. I can't do it, and I'm not gonna.
That's fair. So, outside of Eddie, who do you think your runner-up would be for reanimation? Your runner-up for reanimation.
Shelby's like, we get it. You like Eddie.
Well, no, I'm just saying.
Joking.
So we still have a little more time to fill. I figured I'd ask. Jeez.
Kidding.
I know.
Who would I bring back? But who would you guys bring back besides Eddie? I'm curious.
I think we discussed, because I was just re-listening to the episode recently to try to find clips for IBS. I think we discussed Billy, but he'd need a severe redemption arc because we said it would be more fun if he stopped being a massive jerk, first of all. But it would be fun if you did have a character that kind of fulfilled the wild card role, because I don't think we really have that as of now, because Billy's definitely the kind of guy. He would have no qualms about breaking into places, no qualms about speeding all over Hawkins, breaking the law, who even cares? And just that, again, if you stop being a massive jerk, it would be really interesting to have him as that just sort of like loose cannon character.
Yeah.
I think my biggest ones, other than that I don't think it would change the story much if they came back. In impact that like Billy or Eddie would have, is I genuinely think I'm pretty torn between Bob and Alexi as well.
Yeah.
They're both just such great characters, and I think they would have just been a great smile if they had stayed. I think I would go with Bob first, though, if I had to save one of them, if my options was between the two. However, I would still want Joyce and Hopper to continue their romance, and Bob not be with Joyce. Not that I didn't like them. I just really like Joyce and Hopper. I like that little like high school fling they kind of had, and then the fact that now they're older and, you know, it's like their second chance.
Yeah.
I like that. I like that they both have changed, and now they can come back and like acknowledge and accept those changes and still like each other.
Oh, yeah.
But I loved Bob. I love Superhero Bob.
Superhero Bob. And I think we also said it'd be fun if Alexi was still around.
Yeah.
Because then he could have this sort of like hidden espionage thing going on, helping Murray. Yeah. I can definitely see Murray and him talking crap about the other characters in Russian. They have no idea what's talking on. what's going on. Because I think they already did that a little in season 3. I can definitely see them like picking apart the characters' different like tensions and love lives.
Yeah, like when he told Hopper and Joyce to like just get it over with and be together, and then Alexi asked what he was saying, and then he tells him, and then Alexi's like, they're not, or something, or like they haven't, and it's very funny.
When Murray's like, I don't know, whatever little lovers' quarrel this is, and Joyce is like, oh, do not say that. We are not together. That is not what this is.
That was such a funny scene. But thinking
Excuse me
about
as I choke over here.
Don't die. Thinking about it, I don't think this would ever happen, but maybe Barb.
Oh,
and
yeah.
I can just picture like Nancy, because she has changed a lot
from
season 1 to 5. Just like Barbara saying the same, and just like meeting Nancy at that point, just seeing how much she has like changed would throw me for a loop.
Oh yeah, because we talked about this too, Lee. I think Barb was kind of the catalyst for a lot of the stuff Nancy and Steve both went through. So if she stayed alive, it kind of makes you wonder what would happen to their character development.
So
would Nancy, because I think the core of Nancy has always been where she is, but would she have gotten to the point she is today? Would Steve have gotten to the point he is today without all that like trauma and guilt?
Yeah. Blunt force head trauma to the head.
Blunt force trauma to the head.
That's what I'm talking about. It's what I like to see. No, I'm just kidding. I like to see it. I like to hear it.
Oh yeah. So I think we're getting close to the end here, but I think the only other thing to wrap up really quick is what would you say your least favorite season is?
Ooh, I think my least favorite season was season 2. I remember watching it, and like at first I was nervous with Max and Mike, and I was like, I wasn't liking what was happening there.
It's like I definitely think the way they set it up, you kind of go, uh-oh, are they gonna try to have them have a thing? Because mainstream TV show has girl character and boy character.
Yeah. But like,
of course they gotta get romantic.
We got Steve really stepping up in that season, which I really enjoy. But I just remember being so nervous about watching season 2. But it ended up being fine, and leading to season 3, which is my favorite.
Oh yeah.
So yeah.
Yeah, there was a lot of good and a lot of not good stuff that I think came out of season 2. Like I think there was some stuff that wasn't as strong, and there was stuff that was really strong. But I think it was a good in between from season 1 to season 3. I think there was good information we got, and I don't know. It's a very different vibe. In my brain, season 2 is a different category than the rest of them.
No, I kind of know what you mean, because 1 is like everything is getting set up, and it has solid. And I think the scope is a lot smaller, because then it's just the mystery of this lab. We don't quite have this other universe stuff yet, so the scope is smaller. I think it does a really good job with that. Season 3, you get bigger, you go international, and then season 4, we get even bigger, and now we incorporate more of the horror elements. I really like the vibes of season 2, but that's just because it's in fall and it's Halloween, and I love Halloween. I know the main criticism a lot of people had for season 2 was the Kali side plot.
Yeah, that was kind of really out of place.
I think it does feel a little out of place, but I think if you're thinking of the way, if you're like, from a writer's perspective, I can see they needed a way to, like, they needed some way for her to level up her powers. And that wasn't going to happen with her just in Hawkins in that cabin in the woods with Hopper. So it does feel a little idiosyncratous with the rest of the show, I think, which is why, and this is another thing we theorized, maybe she's going to come back in season 4, because we feel like that's kind of a loose thread. That's kind of, there wasn't a full resolution with that. So, who knows? We will have to see.
We shall.
Can't wait.
All right. Well, that was all my questions. Do we have any final closing comments before we get this wrapped up?
Nothing really. Just live, laugh, love Steve.
Live, laugh, love Steve.
Hopefully he's okay. That's all we can hope for.
Oh, yeah.
Hopefully he survives. Hashtag, we love you, Steve.
Hashtag, we love you, Steve.
Hashtag, Joe Curie, if you're listening. We love you.
Exactly. Well, I mean, of course Joe Kier's listening. He's been right in the room, sat next to you this whole time.
Hi, Lee. Hey, it's me, Joe Curie.
I don't know what he sounds like.
What's up, Betty?
It's me, Joe Curie. I don't know what he sounds like. I'm sorry. That was probably a terrible impression.
No, it's beautiful.
Anyway, thank you for joining us today,
Thank you,
Gianna.
for having me.
Of course.
Thank you.
Now that I've figured out how to board op, we're definitely gonna be doing this again.
Oh, nice.
So we will definitely invite you back at some point in the future. Wonderful.
And there's 6 mics. So.
There's 6 mics.
There's 2 in
8
here.
if we include in Graham. If someone wants to be a little Graham buddy with me.
Oh yeah.
Because what we can do for Radiothon, what we can do if we have a full house here, you and I can be in here.
Yeah.
I can do board stuff, and everyone else just has to sit there and look pretty and talk in the mic.
Mm-hmm.
Indeed.
All right, well, that does it for today's episode of Peculiar Happenings. I'm Shelby.
And I'm Lee.
Stay weird.